Welcome to the making of Reindeer Games. Reindeer Games was a short film idea that I had over the Christmas season. I thought it would be funny to make a short film about Christmas, but I always, the idea of Santa and his workshop and elves, reindeer always kind of intrigued me, even as a kid, as to, like, from a company standpoint, how did all of this, work? The reindeer obviously are the guys who moved the presents from one place to another over Christmas Eve evening, and the elves are actually doing all the labor, and then you have Santa, who's basically the big king cheese. So he would, if the scenario of Christmas in the non-Christian sense is kind of like a company. And so the idea of Christmas being analogous to a corporation where you have reindeer that are actually, working like one day a year, and then you have Santa, he's the big CEO who makes all the decisions, and then you have these reindeer. So the making of Reindeer Games was basically starts with a lot of animation. These are stop motion animation puppets. These particular puppets have aluminum wire frame armatures or skeletons, internal skeletons. The bodies of the puppets are made out of a very, very soft and pliable latex foam rubber. The particular sequence that you're seeing here is an animation of where Comet pushes over Elf Andrew. So what you have in the background is you have a nice green screen here. These particular puppets stand about 8 inches tall. So what you do for stop motion animation is you have a model, and then you basically shoot the models one frame at a time. So in this particular instance, for Donner, or Dancer actually, because this particular one was the female reindeer, you basically just move the puppet one frame at a time. Everything is animatable. So you have lips and you have mouth and ears that are all animatable, and you just move it just a little bit, one frame at a time. The puppets are screwed into the ground. The bottoms of the feet actually have screws or actually threaded holes where screws go in. So you basically use you use the screw with a wing nut to actually make sure that the puppet doesn't move. Because if a puppet moves, if one of these models actually moves during animation, and it moves on its own without actual manipulation, or animation that is, then the whole shot looks kind of funny. So what happens here is the 1 foot here is actually in the ground. Everything else is flailing about, and you basically just move the puppet one frame at a time, depending on what you want the puppet to do.
Andy the Elf was done pretty simply. Basically, it was myself acting in front of a green screen in my office. So I basically just went to Hobby Lobby, picked up a big green screen, and here you have basically just acted sequences in front of a green screen, and then composited with a background picture. I believe all the pictures that I used as background, I got them all off the internet, but I believe that they were all pictures from the Arctic or Antarctic or one of those places. Obviously, in this particular instance, all those Arctic pictures are supposed to represent, or all the backgrounds are supposed to represent, the North Pole.
Other miniatures that I used also comprised of a miniature mug that Comet used to drink. It's actually Andy the Elf's mug. And how I accomplished this, I basically put a little piece of Velcro on the mug and on the back of the hoof. Because the Velcro color is black, it matched the hoof of the model actually very well. And that just went on the bottom of the puppet of the reindeer. So this particular effect worked very well. It's just in a little empty mug, and then there's some CGI smoke that comes out of the mug at the same time. So that was kind of an interesting little effect, using little miniatures. Another miniature that was used at the very opening sequence is this particular model. It's actually a light-up Christmas ornament of a church. But to me, if you put it at just the right angle, if you angled the model just right, looking straight at the model, it kind of looks and resembles a house, or kind of a grand house with these nice pillars and all of that. So I thought that this model would work very well in the opening sequence of, it's basically supposed to represent Santa's home. It's also made out of a nice porcelain, so it's very, very sturdy. Kind of has a strange sound to it. Outside of that, there's ample storyboards that I did to create Reindeer Games. I always take, with any of my stories, I always storyboard everything out, draw little pictures, in this case of the reindeer, you know, what it is that they say, what they look like. These are basically just hand-drawn pictures, just to kind of give an idea of how the pace of the short story is going to work. So that is pretty much it. Reindeer Games, the making of.